And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and always providing you the timely truths and around real estate, credit, finance, estate and tax plans, health, nutrition, so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, but most importantly, we want to engage so we can help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, we want you to save our hotline number in your phone because at some point you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number. You can call or text that line with any questions, comments you may have on the show. We'd love to get back to you before our head hits the pillow. And we're getting a lot of calls every week, people wanting to list their properties for sale, people looking for credit improvement advice, mortgage advice, so many different ways we can help you here. Over 60 show partners and 80 categories of consumer advocate content. Also, check out consumerqb.com, consumerqb.com, and that is going to be a plethora of resources for you available there. You're going to see information about all of our show partners, their contact information, their show cards. You can also watch a live stream, some of our previous shows as well. We're on Apple TV, Amazon TV, Roku, Sony TV, Google Play, 80 plus outlets now that you can find us here, the Consumer Quarterback Show. And it's all about helping you win, bringing in expert contributors and the finest folks in all of Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region that we've assembled, we vetted, and we bring on the show to help you understand more about your buying decisions. Scott Kepler back in the house, Mortgage Approval Group. Welcome back, sir.
Thanks, Brandon. Always good to be here. Looking forward to having a good talk today.
Yeah, man. Support the local economy, the local lender here of choice. Scott Kepler in the house. Louise Harris as well, back in studio. Last editing and research. Welcome in.
Hi, Brandon. It's great to be here. And I just want to say that I am local, but I'm also international.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking a little bit about, you got some international clients you're working with now.
Yes.
Very cool.
It's exciting.
Good stuff. Yeah. So here we are helping you win in any marketplace. This segment is brought to you by The Lucky Dill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. The Lucky Dill, and home of the sandwich that ate Brooklyn. They're located at 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa. They're a restaurant, deli, New York City bar, Brooklyn bakery, catering. They also do banquets as well. The Lucky Dill, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. And they've got a really cool setup over there. They put a lot of money into the build out, TVs everywhere, just a really cool ambiance to go hang out and have some great food. And we appreciate the Lucky Dill, the restaurant partner of choice for the Consumer Quarterback Show. As you know, I'm the owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife and I own and operate that team. We've got a lot of cool things happening. She's also in feng shui design as well. This is our Homes and Land magazine that we have here, put up here. So we're co-branding the show. We got a lot of our listings on there. My wife does feng shui design, interior design and feng shui. So as a top realtor in the area, I want to let you know about a couple of hot listings. This one actually just hit the market, 13508 Indian Oaks Trail in Largo. 3-bedroom, 3-bath property in Indian Oaks, $449,000, getting a lot of action already, and we still don't have the professional photography done. But it's a great opportunity, close to the beach, and it's in Flood Zone X. Just a great opportunity to invest in real estate in Tampa Bay. Just a hot property close to the beach, and Indian Oaks Trail is a hot real estate property that we have as well. And we've got a property on the beach as well, 207 Coronado Drive. This one is on Clearwater Beach. Gorgeous opportunity, 207 Coronado Drive. This is a commercial opportunity. The investment opportunity here has great potential. The lot is 5,500 square feet. She's asking $3.5 million for the property, but right across the street is the Wyndham Grand, the Hyatt. These are $100 million plus properties, and it's right on the number one beach in the world, Clearwater Beach. So check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
And yeah, looking at the front page of the local paper here, it says housing market not so bubbly. It says supplies remain tight, but homes are generally taking longer to sell. This one's right here out of the Tampa Bay Times, Scott. So what are you seeing on your end?
I'm seeing a lot of houses that are selling fast. They may be taking a little bit longer, I guess. That's not the case on the deals that I'm working on.
Yep.
But it depends, I guess. I'd have to see the figures, because it could be the average of 27 days has gone to an average of 30 days, and they're considering that, to be longer,
right?
Which I suppose could be the case. But at the same time, I think that we're ramping up for a great spring season. A lot of houses are starting to hit the market as people are wanting to transition over the summer. We're going to have that perfect storm of the really busy spring and summer season with real low interest rates. I think that it's going to make great opportunity for those who want to get out there and buy something, and also a great opportunity for those that want to sell and upgrade.
Yeah, it really is. And just a couple quick points out of this. It says in Pinellas, the sales of single-family homes, which make up by far the largest share of residential market, dropped 7.4% in the March compared to the same month a year earlier. Prices rose 6% to a median of $265,000, a respectable increase, but less than half of the gains recorded last fall. So yeah, I think it's a tale of two markets. And if you really look at this and you analyze the different types of sellers that you have, you got the, I don't have to sell, but I would sell if I get the right offer, the make me move type person.
Right.
And then that person's going to price their property to where, if a buyer says, yeah, I really want it, and they make a very strong offer, maybe 95, 97% of the ask price, then they may get a deal done. Those properties tend to sit on the market a lot longer, waste a lot of people's time, and then so that's the one market segment. And then you have another segment that says, hey, I'm ready, willing, and able to move. Just like we look as real estate agents, we look for ready, willing, and able buyers. Now, this seller is ready to go. They want to move closer to the beach, closer to work, whatever that might be for them, whatever stage of their life. And I think a lot of the baby boomers as well make up a large percentage of Pinellas and Hillsborough County, at least. And you're looking at people that have to downsize. They've lived in their property so long, they're tired of going up the stairs to the master bathroom upstairs, a bedroom and bath upstairs. So that those people, they're motivated to sell, so they're going to price their properties more appropriately. And I think that's the challenge that we see right now. You've got those two segments, and then you also got the people that are falling prey to these hedge fund type programs like we spoke about before,
right,
where they just want a quick offer, cash offer, let me move out of my house,
right,
for whatever reason, tax deed, sale, death in the family, divorce, some of those type scenarios. Is that kind of how you see it playing out?
Yeah, I think that you've got it, kind of right, hitting the nail on the head. It just depends on what the motivation is, and what their goals are. We talk a lot about motivation and goals in reference to financing and picking the right loan program, but I think picking the right time to buy or picking the right time to sell is important too. That's why I was saying a few moments ago that perfect storm of low interest rates,
yep, with
a healthy market is great for both the buyers and the sellers.
That's right.
And it I guess my message would be to sellers, if you want to sell your house and you're serious about selling it, talk to your real estate agent, somebody from Brandon's team ideally, about what is the right price to make my house sell. Yeah. And let's price it right and let's sell that thing.
And have them back it up with numbers. That's what I like to do. I like to go in there with, the overall county. I look at the county number of listings and then the overall sold for the whole county. And then I look at their price point, say $300,000 to $400,000. There'll be, for example, 997 properties for sale at the end of February, for example. And then if you look out of those, I like to ask them the question. Now, out of those 997 homes for sale from $300,000 to $400,000, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, how many of those do you think sold? And it's funny. Some of them say half. Some of them say 30%. They very rarely get it right on the money. Every now and then they do, but they'll say somewhere around 20%. And that's exactly what you can expect for most price points. Now, as you move up from 400, 500, 500 to 600, that number is going to decrease depending on the because what you're looking at is you're looking at the number of buyers that can afford that amount of house. So a lot of times it's a two income household. The husband's working, the wife's working, and they're buying these nice homes. So that's the challenge that we see. But to your point is, yes, have a real estate agent that's going to back it up with data. Tell them you want to know the absorption rate for the community. You want to see the actual comparables of what's recently sold and why they're comparables. And then that way you can come up with a pricing strategy.
Sure, because everybody thinks their house or their car or their whatever is worth more because it's theirs and they got that sentimental value attached to it. And that's where you have to really kind of set the emotions aside and really look at, what are the numbers? And that's where, sometimes the truth hurts.
Truth hurts. Yeah, that's right. It can't hurt. That is true. This is and this is a book that I've been reading, an audio book. If you're watching our TV show, Gary Keller, The Market Shift. So he's got some really strong advice in here for agents, and and one of the strategies here is price ahead of the market. If you can see that, price ahead of the market, seller pricing strategies. That's the key chapter that I keep listening to because it's so important. And I just love it when I sit down with a couple or a seller that actually gets it. Scott, when you have those clients, sometimes you explain the rates, and because it's debt ratios and it's loan to values and it's credit scores, and when you explain it to them, they actually understand it and they get it. Some of my clients lately have been understanding it and getting it. And
they must be listening to the show.
That's right. They did. Yeah, they did. They called me in from the show. Exactly. And, they understand the market. They understand what's happening. And those are the things that really makes it satisfying as a realtor to have those types of people understand it. And that way you can, give them good advice, solid advice, and it helps them throughout their search. So, because there's a lot of question marks when it comes to real estate and finance. People have these concerns. So, great lineup for you today here. Scott Kepler in the house, Mortgage Approval Group, right here, local lender in Tampa Bay. Louise Harris, last research and editing here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us. Do not touch that dial. We got a feel-good story coming up. Nepalese army removes 2 tons of waste from Mount Everest. Interesting story here in our feel-good segment of the day. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any marketplace, helping our sellers profit more on the sale of their real estate properties. And we want to help you with all of your real estate needs, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. We've got a great team, 10 agents now on our team here that want to help you throughout the Tampa Bay area. Whatever you're looking to do, we want to help you with it. And we got some affordable properties here. I'm going to talk about a couple, great opportunities here, investment opportunities that we have for potential investors or even first-time buyers, family homes. 11556 110th Terrace. This one is over in Largo area. This one is a great opportunity. Solid home, solid construction, concrete block. It's got some really nice extras throughout the home. 2-car garage that has been closed in to a master bedroom. So it's got a lot of room, and you're just steps away out your backyard into the Pinellas Trail. So one of Florida's most popular and unique urban pathways here in Tampa Bay. I've got a property in Tarpon Springs. One of my favorite listings is 1701 Mariner Way. This is a gated community. It's a half an acre lot. Great corner lot property here, 1701 Mariner Way in Tarpon Springs. Now this property, it's completely renovated on the inside. There's gorgeous pictures of the photography from Fabre Frameworks, the official real estate photographer of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Fabre Frameworks, and they do a great job with our real estate photography, but they did a great job on this home as well. 1701 Mariner Way, hot real estate property listing in Tarpon Springs, Florida. Beautiful, sunny and 75.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort, our official hotel partner on the beach in Treasure Island. Beautiful property. There's 2 pools on site, Sloppy Joe's restaurant, games for the kids out back by the pool. They've got those oversized games where you can throw the basketballs and all that kind of stuff. Kind of reminds me of that cup game you play where you do the drink thing, you shoot the ball.
Pool, beer pong?
Pong, yeah, some of those things. They got that stuff going on out there. So nightly music as well, live music, and just a beautiful beach. Clyde Smith is the general manager of the Bilmar Beach Resort over on Treasure Island. Now, make sure you give him a call. Let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take him up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we're back here in the studio. We got Scott Kepler in the House Mortgage Approval Group, Louise Harris as well. Last research and editing. Let's bring Louise into the conversation. So what have you been up to, Louise?
Well, as I mentioned in the beginning of the show, that I'm international. I'm local, but I'm international because a writer can write from anywhere and for anybody. So I just won a client from Poland.
Nice.
Because they need people to edit their correspondence because they don't speak English, so anyone from not an English-speaking country can't understand how Americans should be writing or hearing.
Yeah.
And so I just got that client, but I also have some clients in and partner. I have in Pakistan and Egypt and places around the world because, as I said, they need American writers to do their blogging and things like that and their editing. So it's exciting.
That's interesting because when you look at the market, it's a global economy now.
Yes.
It's a global world economy. Everybody's connected, and especially with the advent of social and the way that you're seeing things. So what are you doing to help these folks out? You're doing blogs and ghostwriting.
Ghostwriting blogs. I'm also editing their materials so that they sound correct. I am also putting guest posting for them where I have an authority on different sites, and I actually post their articles after I've edited them because they can't post them like that. And so I do all those kind of things that help the international market.
Very cool.
Get into American market.
How do these clients find you?
There's a couple websites that I'm on, but this particular one I was applying through Indeed for just anything, and it happened to the Poland called me and said that they actually emailed me, but it was through Indeed, the
That's
career site.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's a lot of ways to get connected nowadays. There's different ways, especially I found out too, how realtors are recruiting. There's so many ways teams will recruit realtors. They use all those sites, Indeed, even Craigslist
Right.
still. There's a lot of ways you can do that and generate interest and call-ins. And so many times there's people going to be on a site just for a random reason, and then they say that they see your ad, and I've had that happen in the past.
Right.
They see your ad, then all of a sudden you're sitting down talking to them, and they turn out to be a good candidate.
And that actually brings up the point about how you can't just be in one place.
Yeah.
You have to be strategic with your marketing. You have to make sure that your name and your brand is in as many different mediums as possible.
Right.
So you want to be on radio, you want to be on TV, you want to be in print, you want to be online.
Yep.
You want to do everything that you can so that people know who you are, and
Sure.
and that they are when they see your name and they recognize, oh, he's the consumer quarterback. And in fact, I was actually talking to someone last night about your show because he's a reverse mortgage specialist. And I said, well, have you ever done the consumer quarterback show? And he said he actually has in the past.
Oh, cool.
So those are ways of marketing. So you just have to be strategic about it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think for a lot of business owners out there too, especially if you're kind of struggling right now, if you're in a position where you're saying, hey, sure, I could spend a lot of money on billboards or advertisements or SEO. I mean, you can spend a lot of money in a lot of places, but there's a lot of ways that you can actually get creative, and especially in real estate. I love it because, my wife loves to lead the team in door knock. I mean, she'll literally go around our listings, door knocking, looking for buyers, looking for new listings. And it's great because, when you have that personality type, because then it breaks down into, what's your personality type? Me, I don't mind being on the phone, so I'll hit the phones pretty heavily. Some real estate, some salespeople don't like to be on the phones. So, okay, go out there and door knock. Pick your poison, right?
And that's right. And that actually is an art that's not around anymore. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to be digital, but they don't think that maybe they can do the personal thing and write a letter or go and knock on a door or make a phone call. That is still, people think that they don't have to do that anymore, but it is. You were talking about how you got to take the emotion out of selling a house, but in marketing, it's the opposite. Things have to be more personal and more narrow, and you have to target that specific person and meet their needs to be successful.
Yeah, there's riches in the niches. I've said it, heard it said, especially with podcasting. For example, if you have a certain podcast that's there's one podcast I heard of. It puts people to sleep. Literally, that's what he does. Is he tells you. I forgot the name of it. It had a catchy name, but so when you have these niches, I think that's what we're talking about. Is you can get in deeper to a niche, and you'll be able to be known as the specialist for that particular niche.
I actually have a client in California who has her business is crime scene cleanup, so it's very niche. And she has a podcast, and she has 3,000 listeners.
Wow.
And that was before she even launched the podcast, so she probably has more now. But
people into that type of deal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But she did exactly what you're saying. She was very narrow because it's a very small market, the crime scene cleanup.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a company doing preservation work, and I know you can get signed up for them. You just got to take certifications, and you do, like we did stuff for the U.S. Marshals when there were seizures. All types of stuff got seized, and there's a lot of niches. It's interesting when you look at it. Every time I meet someone or talk to them on the phone, by the way, what do you do for work? What's your line of work? I always love to hear the different niches out there. So many different niche businesses, and it reminds me of how small business is such a driver of the overall United States economy. Small business that's really at the pulse of the market. And if you ever really want to know what's happening with the economy, you talk to a hairdresser. You talk to a hairdresser, right? Because they're talking to so many people a day doing hair, and they see who's cutting back. Yeah, so-and-so cut back to, once every 3 weeks instead of, every other week or something. They can really give you a good idea of what's happening based on their micro and their demographic.
Yes.
It's pretty neat.
And they are good for gossip, too.
Yeah, good for gossip. That's right. Yeah. So here's some interesting stats, too, that we just got pulled up here. It says retail sales surged in March at the fastest pace since late 2017, increasing from 1.6% from February. Spending on autos, gasoline, furniture, and clothing all jumped as well. So further information showing us that the economy's really, really moving along well.
Yes.
So it's good stuff. Yeah. So when we come back, I want to talk with Scott Kepler as well. I want to dive into deeper with Scott on different types of mortgages that he offers, maybe what he's seeing going on with investors, as well as we'll talk about some more statistics. Home builder confidence also rose to 63 in April and has spent the last 3 months in the 60s, according to NAHB index. And last year's high was 70, reached in May. So there's some stats that are pointing to some really good indicators. And so we want to debate that a little bit and talk about what's happening with the economy. What do you see happening on a local level, and then of course the different types of loan programs that you're offering to buyers, sellers, investors out there, people that are looking to make moves in real estate. We want to talk to you about the different options that you have when it comes to financing side of the real estate game. So stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check out our follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, and of course the Consumer Quarterback Show page is out there as well. And we got a really cool story in our Feel Good segment. Nepalese Army removes 2 tons of waste from Mount Everest. Stay with us right here at Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leave on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We want to help you win in 80 different categories of expert contributors that we bring on and give you advice, things that you can do to live a better life and avoid a lot of the commission-based advice that's so prevalent in our community. Everywhere you look, you see commission-based advice, and we want to help you with that, going against the nonsense in the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth, sitting around lots of different areas of real estate and finance and estate and tax explaining so many ways that we can help you here. This segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving. The official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that they are a first-class organization. From the top down to the workers out in the field. They have show up. They do a great job. They're among the best reviewed Tampa Bay movers as well on Google. They hold a 4.6 rating, the highest in the Bay Area, an A rating on their Better Business Bureau, and an 80 rating on Angie's List as well. 4.5 rating on Yelp, and they've also won the Super Service Award multiple times. Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Now, make sure you give him a call. Let Gary Thacker know, he's the owner. Let him know that Brandon Rhymes, the real estate quarterback, sent you, and take him up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, back here in studio, we got a great lineup for you today. Scott Kepler's in the house, Mortgage Approval Group. Support your local lender. Louise Harris as well. She's a ghostwriter. She's a blogger, and she can help out. Her company is Last Research and Editing with all your writing and editing needs. Louise Harris is here to help you. And Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host. Got a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about here. 5127 27th Avenue over in Pinellas Park. This property is a great opportunity. 5127 27th Avenue, Gulfport, that is. Great property. This property is $725,000. Recently completely updated and renovated. Just a gorgeous property here in Tampa Bay. 5127 27th Avenue South in Gulfport. And it's got a duplex. You also have an extra home in the back as well. Just a great opportunity. Not in a flood zone. Close to the beach. Just a gorgeous property here in Tampa Bay. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. Also got a property on River Hills in Temple Terrace. This is a riverfront home in Temple Terrace. Now this property, it's gorgeous. It's on River Hills and Temple Terrace. Now we've got a large square foot home here. The property is on the lake, or it's on the river rather, and it's close to USF. Great opportunities. Check out our website, PlatinumMVPTeam.com. Beautiful properties here in Tampa Bay.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, so more stats here, Scott. I wanted to go to some of these economic stats and things that we're seeing here. So it's interesting. You know, you look at housing news. Here's one that's interesting. As sea level rises, architects are looking for ways to make homes more resilient to flooding. Floating homes are being considered as a solution for coastal areas. That's interesting. And then you also have virtual staging using software to digitally change a home's spaces and show new possibilities is now a reality that is catching on to the market, to the marketing of a home. It's interesting stuff, man.
Absolutely. No, I think it's great that we're able to implement those technologies, you know, because some people have a hard time visualizing, you know, that change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been going through a renovation at our house, and you know, I can kind of picture things ahead of times, but you know, for my fiance, we have to kind of lay things out, you know, and it's because she's just a more visual person. But when you're able to come in with that technology and that software and go, hey, here's what we're going to do, because we're going to move this wall, and we're going to, you know, put this here, and we're going to raise this ceiling here, and we're going to, you know, put, you know, this fixture here, whatever the case may be, and to be able to visualize it and see it and go, oh, I can visualize that. I think it helps open up some options and opportunities for people who maybe don't have that, you know, kind of mindset, and to even know what the options are, you know, to have a professional be able to do that. I think it's, you know, I think it's great. And that's where, you know, we've talked in the past about bringing in somebody who does that, and, you know, let them give you the right advice.
Yeah. So you actually went through one of these renovation type loans, I believe, is what you'd said prior, right? Yeah. So a pretty cool process. Interesting. You know, any you know, ideas or takeaways from that?
You know, I think that the loan product itself is an excellent loan program. It's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you have to kind of have that end goal in mind when you find the house. It's ideal if you have a contractor kind of already picked out that, you know, shares your vision, because that's a big part of it, is having somebody that you know that can get the work done, you know, when you get to that point. But from a standpoint of being able to purchase a home, make it the way you want it to be, just because you love the house, you love the area, you love the land, you love the whatever that is drawing you to that house, but you hate the kitchen or you hate the bathroom or you whatever. It is about the house that you don't like, or sometimes it's something necessary. Mm-hmm. You know, like our house had to have a roof like right away. And, you know, so that was part of what we factored into ours was some of the necessary stuff. But it was nice because, you know, we upgraded it to a metal roof. We got to pick the color and, you know, the whole thing. And that really helped us with, you know, laying out the, you know, the house as a whole. Was starting from the, you know, the top down. But from, you know, from an investment standpoint, it gave us the opportunity to buy a house that, you know, was a foreclosure property, had been really run down and not very well, you know, taken care of in the last couple of years, you know, where the previous owner was living there, you know, while they're in the foreclosure process, you know, and really take that house and make it something, you know, really nice. And at the same time, we were able to build some almost instant equity, you know, because the way that the renovation loan works is, you know, we'll loan based on the purchase price plus the renovation cost.
Yep.
And then we do an appraisal based on after all of that work is done, what is it going to be?
Yeah.
And a lot of times we see people walking in, you know, with 10, 15, 20% equity after those renovations are done, you know, right off the bat, after even including in the renovation cost.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you find a, you know, a neighborhood or a house or, you know, some of these older houses that are out there that may be partially renovated or, you know, not at all renovated, don't let that scare you.
Yeah.
You know, we can do all kinds of crazy things with a renovation loan as long as it makes sense. Right. You know, in most cases, they'll loan anywhere from, you know, 50 to 75% of what you're paying for the house in addition to the house in renovations. So, you know, you're spending $200,000 on a house, you know, you could spend $100,000 and $150,000 on renovations if it made sense for that neighborhood, obviously, in that area. You know, so there's a lot of flexibility to really do what you want and make the house the way that you want it to be.
Yeah.
It's
a great product.
If you've got somebody that owns a property and that loves their house, but it's outdated and they, you know, are trying to figure out the right way to do it, it's certainly something to consider before you go taking a personal loan or even a home equity line or something along those lines, which are, you know, a little more difficult to get than they used to be. You know, so it's a good option for those that don't want to move, you know, that want to do an upgrade to their current home. Yeah. You know, or an addition, you know, sure. Or sometimes even add a pool.
Big thing is the school zone too. You know, you can get people always want to be in a certain school zone, Tampa Plant or Clearwater, Central Catholic, whatever it is, right? So if you open your mind up to these types of loan programs that allow you to finance the renovation cost into them, it's going to allow you to be in that school zone. Yeah, maybe you might have to go through 3 to 6 months of, you know, for some people it's like, that's pain. I don't want to go through a renovation. That's why you said it takes a certain person, you know, but you can get it upgraded to the way that you want it. You get all the beautiful colors, the latest trends of colors and different types of bathroom. You can do the renovations. And then you just got to be careful, like you said, not to over improve the property.
Sure. And that's where I think a really good real estate agent, you know, comes into play. Because of course the contractors are going to want to do anything that you want to do. You know, they're all about it. Sure. We can do that. Yeah, no problem. You know, and they're just hearing that cash register ringing. You know?
They are. That's right.
Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, I understand, you know, profit's not a dirty word, but, you know, but you want to be careful because that's where, like I said, a real estate professional comes in. I mean, obviously we have an appraiser that goes out and finds houses that are similar considering those renovations, right? And values that after repair value. And then we have, you know, a consultant that typically is involved that, you know, keeps an eye on the contractor and the construction and does inspections along the way, and approves draws, you know, on behalf of
That's
the bank.
a good point. The draws are a big part of these loan programs to make sure that the consumer doesn't get taken advantage of. They're going to get certain draws at every phase of the project.
Right. And it's usually predetermined ahead of time, like when these draws can be done. Right. You know, sometimes there's changes, and we put a little contingency in there in case you run into an expense that you didn't expect, or, you know, a surprise that you didn't, hope to find. And, so we built a little bit in there for that. But yeah, you got to understand that the process after you close, it's not like, I get to move in, that's a week or two after that is when the actual renovations start, and they've got typically 6 months to finish the renovations.
Yep.
And so during that time period, what's ideal is, if the house is not livable, we can even roll those mortgage payments into the loan so that, you can continue living in your, current house, your current apartment, or whatever the case may be during those renovations if you choose to do so.
Yeah, that's awesome. We're talking with Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group. He's talking about the renovation loans. He can do conventional, FHA, VA, investor type products, bank statement style loans. Lots of properties or lots of available loan programs for almost any type of property. Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group, right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Stay with us when we come back. More from Louise Harris. We're coming into our lightning round as well, and we have our feel good story of the day. A real good story here about the soldiers that are removing waste from Mount Everest. I guess, when they climb up these mountains, they just leave the trash laying a lot of times. So stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be right back after this short timeout. Don't go anywhere.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. That's our #1 goal. WholeBodyFuel.com is the official meal delivery service of the Consumer Quarterback Show. WholeBodyFuel.com. They've got the world-famous protein donuts, and Chef Brian Adamo and his team do a great job. They deliver conveniently delivered healthy organic meals directly to your home or office. Now, what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? I love WholeBodyFuel.com. Every time I get a new delivery of food, it's awesome. It's really good. It's healthy for you. And what else do you have if you don't have your health? WholeBodyFuel.com. Check them out. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, back here in studio, hoping you win. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the show. We got Louise Harris in the house as well. Scott Kepler here. And we're going to jump into our feel-good story of the day.
Tell me something good.
Nepalese Army removes 2 tons of waste from Mount Everest. The Nepalese Army has removed a lot of waste from the cleanup campaign. According to the Nepalese Army, the cleanup campaign was launched on April 14th as part of the 24th Annual Wildlife Week, a program organized by the National Park Office. After the cleanup campaign was concluded, the Army transported half of the non-biodegradable waste by helicopter to Blue Waste to Value Company. Blue Waste to Value Company. Okay, that was hard to say. You get the remaining ton of waste that was taken to the Army barracks in treatment for, according to a release by the Army. The Nepalese Army has also pledged to provide manpower and machines necessarily for the Cleanup Mountains campaign, which will run until May 19th of 2019. So awesome. Hats off to the Nepalese Army for cleaning up Mount Everest.
Yes.
A sight I'll probably never see. I don't think I'm getting up a mountain anytime soon.
Well, you know, it's appropriate because Earth Day was April 22nd. So there a lot of things like this happen around the world where they have clean water drives or clean up the river or clean the mountain.
Yeah.
So, and I actually heard through my coverage of the environment that because mountain climbers aren't really clean when it comes to caring about the environment, which is odd because they're outdoors people, but they just leave things. They don't want to be bothered carrying it because it's heavy. And
can you imagine going up like 4,000, how many thousand feet they are? They got to carry their own bag of trash with them.
Right. You know, so it makes sense that it needs to be done.
Yeah.
But it's probably in relation to Earth Day.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good stuff. All right, back here in studio helping you win. We got Scott Kepler in the house, Mortgage Approval Group, Louise Harris, Last Research and Editing, and we're jumping into our lightning round.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, got some top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Ladies first, Louise Harris.
Okay, so I have a couple things. I want to remind your listeners to keep sending out press releases in the summer, especially because there's hardly any news when everybody's on vacation, like Congress and President and schools. So they want to have something other than, oh, it's hot today. And the second thing is we didn't really talk about my book editing and ghostwriting part of my business. So I just wanted to remind people that, yes, I can help you get your book from start to Amazon, and I can help you figure out how to market it, how to what's the best strategy for it, and how to edit it so that it flows like a river. So
nice. I like that. Louise Harris, Last Research and Editing. All right, Scott Kepler, Mortgage Approval Group. Give us some top tips, nuggets of advice.
I think my top tips are if you're thinking about getting out of that rental property or thinking about getting out of the parents' I would say basement. We don't have too many basements here. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah. Closed-in garage. Yeah. Closed-in garage.
There you go. Yeah, or that mother-in-law suite you call a garage. So either way, now's the time to do it. Rates are low. There's some awesome loan programs out there. And then something I touched on last week, if you've got a unique situation or you think that you can't get a home loan or pre-approval because of your situation, reach out to me. Let's talk about it. because it's probably not that unique, and I've probably got a loan program to help you out.
That's right. Yeah, reach out to the show, 813-670-7372. We'd love to welcome your calls and comments. Text or email. Give us a call at 813-670-7372. ConsumerQB.com. You can submit an email form there at ConsumerQB.com. And I'm going to be speaking at this event coming up on the 20th. Any local realtors, if you haven't heard about this yet, it's Become a Better Agent. It's BABA 31. Monday, May 20th, 1 to 5 p.m., I'm going to be speaking at the Greater Tampa Realtors Association, and I'm going to be talking about negotiation. Learn how to negotiate like a FBI agent and we're also going to be talking about branding, as well as my wife is talking about feng shui. She does feng shui design. So coming up on the 20th, that's going to be a good time. And back here in studio helping you win, we got Scott Kepler in the house, Louise Harris. And Scott, here's some more interesting, from the Tampa Bay Times, some more interesting commentary on the real estate market. It says, this is, you ever hear Lawrence Young, Chief Economist, National Associated Realtor? He seems like he's always quoted, right? Lawrence. Sure. Oh, Lawrence doing a good job. So it says, current sales activity is underperforming in relation to the strength in the jobs market. That says Lawrence Young. He's a Chief Economist for National Association of Realtors. The impact of lower mortgage rate has not been fully realized yet. He's saying after rising last fall, the average rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage has dipped to 4.27%. So he's saying it's dipped, and he haven't seen the full effect of that. What do you think he means by that, Scott?
I think people aren't taking advantage of it. Like I've talked about several times before on the show, is that lower interest rates mean that you have greater buying power.
Yes.
And I've had people say, well, I think I might just wait because I feel like the market's high right now.
Yeah.
Well, the market may be high in your opinion. I don't think it is. I think it's healthy. And waiting for it to go down while interest rates go up,
right?
It kind of, it's a double-edged sword.
It offsets.
It offsets. If you're waiting and you get lucky and you hit it at that perfect time. But that's what I was alluding to earlier, which is it's the perfect storm because we're in a healthy market that is continuing to go up at a healthy pace of 3 to 5%, I would say. And maybe even more still in some areas. But that coupled with the lower interest rates means that you can borrow more for less, but at the same time, the money that you have invested, because our economy is doing well, that money is going up at an increased percentage pace, a faster pace, a higher yield on your return, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. The numbers make sense. It really is what the numbers are saying. Here's some quick stats to update our real estate folks out there. Hillsborough sales are up 5.8%, up just 1% to a median of $245,000. The median time to contract was 40 days, 13 days longer than the same time a year ago. Interesting. Here's Tampa Bay's top transaction in March, $4.7 million for a Gulfront house in Bel Air Shore that sold at full asking price after just 4 days on the market. That's surprising.
Wow.
And then Tampa Davis Island, the buyer paid $4.345 million for a 6-bedroom, 7-bath house with a rooftop terrace that is being built on a deep water canal. The price is the highest so far in Hillsborough County. And here's something shocking too. In Pasco County, in Wesley Chapel, a new home sold for $960,000, making it Pasco's top sale in March, while in Hernando, the most expensive was $655,000 for a 3-story home on Hernando Beach. So interesting. We've got some really nice real estate properties here in the Tampa Bay market, and when you look at overall, it's just, I think a lot of times it is people going off of bad advice. They're going off of what a friend may have told them, someone that they hold in high regard. But really, if you break down their accolades versus, what we're telling you here on the show, it's still a great time to get into the show or get into the real estate game. The mortgage rates are low. The longer you wait, two things are going to happen. Prices are going to go up, rates are going to go up. So you're waiting, for something inevitable to happen. Unless you're one of these that fall into say, oh, I'm going to wait 2 or 3 years, 4 or 5 years, and then it's still going to continue to trend up. There's not going to be a reset like we saw.
If you're a homeowner and you're waiting, there's nothing wrong with that because you're building equity while you're waiting. If you're a renter and you're waiting, you're throwing your money away.
Great point. Great point. Rent versus own analysis for the first 3 listeners. Text the word rent and the amount of rent that you're paying. We're going to hook you up with a rent versus own analysis. Text to 813-670-7372. Text the word rent and the amount of rent that you're paying to 813-670-7372. The first 3 listeners, we're going to hook you up, put you in touch with Scott and his team, and we're going to get you a rent versus own analysis, get you on the way, the path to home ownership right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, great show today. Scott Kepler, Louise Harris, thanks so much. All of our listeners and viewers out there, please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, donate some blood, whatever it takes. Go out there and do something kind for one another, and continue to tune into our show right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 102.5 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.